Hello everybody. In this video, I want to show you guys some photos I've taken with my Sony 35mm f1.4 G Master lens on my Sony A7C camera. Now, I'll share with you guys my raw photos, the settings, and also my final edited version of them. Let's get started. So first we have this flower. It's a purple flower. And the settings for this are 35mm, 1/200, f1.4, 100 ISO. Let me zoom in so you guys can see the details of the leaf and the flower. The thing about the 35 f1.4 is that anything that's in front or behind what you're shooting and what you're focusing on, it's really blurred out. As you can see the details of the quality of the bokeh background blur. You guys can see what it looks like. This lens, I mean, it produces really nice out of focus areas. The quality looks really good. So here's the photo of the flower, and here's my final edited version of this. This is what I would post, to social media and whatnot. But yeah, I think it is very dreamy. It looks very nice. And it's just something so simple too, I was just at an area where they had flowers, so I decided to just take a photo of one, and this is what it looks like. Here's another photo of a flower. Same place, same area, same time. And the settings for this, 35mm, 1/320, f1.4, 100 ISO. Let me zoom in so you guys can see some details of what I took, as well as the out of focus areas and what it looks like. But yeah, definitely the quality of the bokeh here is just amazing. So this is the raw file, and now this is my final version. Keep in mind, these are not like client photos, right? I'm not doing this as a job. It's just photos I've taken, as a hobbyist. But yeah, I do think that this lens produces some really nice looking photos. Here's another photo. This was at an event. This was Disney, Mickey and Friends Holiday Village. And you basically go in, there's a bunch of shops there selling Disney related items. And then there's also, you can get into line to get a free gift at the event. So it was nice. A lot of families showed up. And I took this photo of this Mickey's little statue. You can see the details of the statue, as well as the welcome sign. There's a tree here, and then the out of focus areas up here as well. Oh, sorry, I didn't give the settings. So 35mm, 1/200, f1.4, 100 ISO. And then here's my final version. Here's another photo from that same event at one of the shops. They were selling this Mickey wreath made out of tiny little ornament balls. If you can actually zoom in closer, you guys can see the reflection of me taking this photo. Here's me with my camera. On several of these, you can see the reflection of myself right here as well. But yeah, what's interesting is that the ornament balls that are in focus looks sharp, but then you go to the out of focus areas, it's very blurred out, and it's all the same piece. It's all part of the same decoration, but because it's f1.4, anything that's behind it even slightly is going to be out of focus, as you can see here. But because of that, you get a more like three-dimensional feel to it, right? So here's my final version. Very festive, very fun. A lot of green. Here's another photo from that same event. They had a bunch of little, decorations set up around the event area. And this is one of them. This is basically like a little lamp and then some pine cones around it. So I thought I would take a photo of this. Very cozy, very Christmas-like. And if we zoom in, you guys can see sort of the details of pine cones that were in focus, as well as the bokeh and out of focus areas in the background. Oh, I didn't share my settings. Sorry. Let me go back a little bit. So I shared the settings for this. This was at 35mm, 1/200, f1.4, 100 ISO. For this one, 35mm, 1/40, f1.4, 400 ISO. So it started to get dark around this time. Sun started to set. So that's why I had to use only 1/40 shutter speed as well as 400 ISO. But this is what it looks like. And here's my final version. Very nice, right? Now, this was at a different area. This was at a shopping mall. It's called a South Coast Plaza in, I believe, Costa Mesa, California. This is a shopping mall, and every Christmas, around the holiday time, they put up a lot of decorations around the mall. And this is one of them. This display right here, it's a huge display. It has a bunch of little details. So up here you can see these reindeer and there's Santa. And then there's a big house. There's a bunch of trees, some lifts. There's a little train that moves. There's some people here. We've got more little houses. I believe on the left side you can see Grinch trying to steal Christmas. On the right side here, you see some more reindeer. I believe there's Santa's sleigh right here. Down here, there's more houses. But yeah, a lot of different little details, little figurines and models and whatnot. Big display, lots of details. Always nice to come here and look at it. A lot of families come here during the holidays to look at displays like this. And this was in the shopping mall, which is quite impressive. Not a lot of shopping malls put up displays like this for people to see, so it's really nice. So the settings for this, 35mm, 1/80, f1.4, 100 ISO. And here's my final edit of this. Now this is a Christmas tree in that same shopping center at South Coast Plaza. And I've gone to a lot of malls and they have Christmas trees there. Either they're really big but this one is probably my favorite Christmas tree at any shopping mall. Very impressive. It's big and it's filled with lots of big ornaments. And then there's this area at the top where they put like a wreath all around it. I mean, and then there's a bunch of lights. I think it's really set up nicely. Very beautiful tree. And the fact that you can go visit this in a shopping center is in a little shopping mall. It's really nice. As you can see, here's a close-up of the ornaments that the trees are filled with. Up here, you can see sort of out of focus areas. You see the back, how the lights look like. The settings for this, 35mm, 1/40, f1.4, 100 ISO. And here's my final version of this. Very Christmassy, very festive, filled with ornaments. Very nice. here's a different Christmas tree in that same shopping mall. So the shopping mall it has a bunch of different areas. So that other Christmas tree was in one area, and then this Christmas tree is in a different area, and it takes a different approach too. Now this one, it's filled with like a bunch of stuff on the tree. Let me show you guys. So on the top here, you guys have a snow globe, and then you have faces of, I believe it's Santa Claus. And you have some birds, some owls. And you have Santa Clauses in the tree, which I think is interesting. It's a Christmas tree, but then there's statues of Santa in the tree. Not only that, but in this big Christmas tree, you have a bunch of smaller Christmas trees. Here's one over here. Here's another Christmas tree. On the left side right here, you can see another Christmas tree. Another one. So it's a big Christmas tree filled with smaller Christmas trees and statues of Santa. Very interesting take. I've never seen anything else like it. Now, do I think it's beautiful? I mean, I think it's a neat, unique idea, but I still prefer the other one. I like this tree better. But this one, it is very interesting to look at. The fact that it's a big tree filled with a bunch of smaller trees and statues of Santa, you don't see that every day. So I thought I would just take a photo of this. For the settings, this is at 35mm, 1/80, f1.4, 100 ISO. And here's my final version of this. Now, I didn't notice this right away, but the lighting is actually pretty harsh. Either that or it's just my edit. But this is what I would use as my final version. Now, this is different. We're moving away from the shopping mall. Now we're at a house. Now, this was in Indiana, and this was during Christmas. As you can see, it's a dog in front of a Christmas tree. And then there's presents in the background as well. Let me zoom in so you guys can see the dog, as well as the out of focus areas, what the lights of the Christmas tree look like. As far as I know, this 35mm f1.4 G Master produces really, really pleasing bokeh for a 35mm. But yeah, this is what it looks like. For the settings, this is at 35mm, 1/40, f1.4, 1000 ISO. Now this was indoors and the lights were pretty dim, so that's why I had to use these settings. And this is my final version of this. Very Christmassy, very cozy, right? Here's another photo of a different dog in that same house in front of the Christmas tree. And as you can see, it's on the carpet and it's biting this toy. And here's a closer picture of the details. And then the out of focus areas, the bokeh with the Christmas lights in the background. This is what it looks like. For the settings, this was at 35mm, 1/40, f1.4, 1600 ISO, 1600 ISO. So again, very dim lighting. Had to bump it up a little bit, but that's what it looks like. Here's my final version. Now, because it was a little bit dark, some areas look pretty grainy, right? But overall, it's still a pleasing image, in my opinion. Now, this was at an event I went to in Chicago. They basically had a bunch of stuff on display, like a bunch of little Disney figurines and dolls and statues and things like that. So what's interesting is that this photo highlights the capabilities of the 35mm f1.4 G Master to take photos of smaller objects up close. So here's a figurine, and if you zoom in, you can see the details of the face, as well as what the background looks like, right? It's able to blur the background very nicely, very pleasing to the eyes. So yeah, this 35mm, it's so versatile because you can do so many things with it. And this is a good example of how well the lens takes photos of little figurines and things like that up close. So for this, the settings were 35mm, 1/250, f1.4, 100 ISO. And here's my final version of this. Very nice, right? If you want to get into taking photos of little figurines and whatnot, this is a good lens for that, in my opinion. Takes very pleasing photos of figurines. Now this photo, this was from, I believe, Chris Kindle Mart, and there was a stall or like a little house, little shop that sells ornaments, Christmas ornaments, and they had all kinds of different things. They had animals, vegetables, a bunch of different types of ornaments, and they had just regular ones as well, the normal spherical balls that you would get. But yeah, as you can see here, I decided to take a photo inside of the shop. There's ornaments hanging, and in the background, even though it's blurred out, you can see that there's a bunch of people shopping for ornaments. So I thought this was an interesting photo. For the settings, this was at 35mm, 1/40, f1.4, 125 ISO. And then here's my final version. I believe this is the last photo I want to show in this video. So I decided that I would just take a photo in Chicago of the buildings and the weather. It was very foggy. As you can see, this building, there's fog around there. Look at the sky. The sky is completely like gray. It was very cold. It was not a sunny day at all. So I decided to take this photo of sort of this like cityscape of the buildings. Now for the settings, this was at 35mm, 1/50, f1.4, 100 ISO. And this is my final version of this. The mood of this is very, it's all very blue and gray, and the only thing is the lights in the buildings that give a pop of yellow. Yeah, I thought this was a nice photo. All right, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed me going over all these photos I've taken with my 35mm f1.4 G Master lens, and I hope you guys enjoyed, me going over the raw photos as well as my final edits of them and sharing the settings as well. I will be making more of these type of content. I just bought a new lens, so I'll be taking photos with that one and sharing photos I've taken with that as well, with all the settings and whatnot. So if you guys like this type of content, please make sure to like this video and subscribe, and I'll keep on making more of this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.